Let's do it again. Look over there. Okay, now turn to me.
This is the house I was born and raised in. I refer to it as the Hotel de Bum. It's an expression I learned when I was working on an old folks ward in the Navy, a geriatric ward. And the reason I call it the hotel, I only refer to it when my dad's not there. We usually take pride in the house, but sometimes when he's not around, I get a little bit careless. A lot of friends come over, and sometimes we kind of raise hell. So far, we haven't destroyed anything, but we've come close a few times. But usually it's a good house. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in that house. I've lived here for about 26 years, and it's been a hell of a place. This is it. This is the unemployment check. $244 every 2 weeks. It seems like a lot of money, but actually it's not. $122 a week I make, and that's more than I've made in a lot of jobs that I've worked pretty hard at. So I got the money, and not having money for a while, I got pretty excited, and so I went to the bank to get this check cashed.
20, 30, 40, 21, 42, 43, 44, 244.
All right. Thanks a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
This sure is nice. Well, I'm on my way now to the garage. I got 244 bucks in my pocket. And at that time, I really didn't think about getting drunk. But the only thing that was on my mind is that the Chicago Bears was going to be on Monday Night Football. I'm what they call a die-hard Bear fan. I've watched the Bears almost all my life, and these last few years I've followed them even closer because of this one man on their team named Walter Payton. Besides love of God and love of my family, the third big love I have in my life is sports. I play sports, I follow them, I read them. And so when somebody like Walter Payton comes along, who is probably the most gifted athlete of our time, or all time, I really get psyched up for him. I once told the Lord, I was sitting on the porch talking with him one night, and I said to the Lord, Lord, I could talk about Walter Payton all night long and have one of the best times of my life. And the Bears were going to be on TV, and I was keyed up. It was kind of like a dream come true, having the whole country watch my number one hero, Walter Payton, play. And it was early in the day, and I still had about 6-7 hours to kill, and everything on the inside of me was geared to the Bear game. I had a lot of money. You know, that day I just got my unemployment check, and I had $244. You know, when I came back to pick up the car, I was kind of drunk then. See, I got drunk in the afternoon and then again later at night, and I remember, like, you were putting in that battery, and boy, I was pretty well drunk then. Did I look drunk then?
A little bit.
Did I?
Yeah, you looked like you had a few drinks.
Yeah. You know, I usually...
You were telling me a couple jokes.
Yeah. That's usually... Can I get a smoke from you, right? I smoke these Cools all the time, and I kind of like those Marlboro. Thanks. The car's running good. Starting out all the time. Haven't had any big problem with it. This here's my favorite type of wine, Richard's Wild Irish Rose. A lot of people think this is cheap wine, but I don't really think it's cheap. This here's my favorite type of beer. Actually, it's malt liquors. These two here will give you a nice little kick. This here is my buddy Pete's house. This is what my first stop was. Right here. Hey, Pete! Hey! Hi! What's going on? All right. Hey, this here's my friend John.
Hey, John.
What's going on? You want to hear?
What's up?
Well, we're talking about last Monday night. You were on that big truck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go outside. Huh?
All right.
Hey, there they are. Toby! Remember last Monday night? We tied one on.
Yeah,
The cops got us.
the Bears game?
Right.
Yeah,
That was a hell of a time, wasn't it?
that was a hell of a time.
That's one of the biggest drunks I've ever been on, you know?
Really?
Yeah, one of them. You know I don't get drunk that much.
It was fun.
It was. It was. You know, I told John that, you know, I was keyed up for the Bear game. You know
Yeah.
how much I like Walter Payton.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, you like them.
there ain't no doubt in my mind he's the best ever. Boy, you know, now I came over here, I had a six-pack of Miller. We
In the
drank,
morning, yeah.
Right,
Well, you came over in the morning,
right,
Monday morning.
with a six-pack.
Yeah. I think I only had one of them, so you must have had about...
Sue had, Sue had one, I think I had four.
Okay, you had four. And then we went our separate ways for a while. You went to Perla's. Found out later that while you were there, had many shots of tequila and
Mezcal.
and those beers.
You know, I had some avocado tacos there, too.
Those are good.
Yeah.
And then, well, you told me that you went home and had some Kentucky Fried Chicken with your dad
Yeah.
and promptly threw it up.
Yeah, I did.
So then you had 3 more beers and came over to Jimmy's house with about 12-pack of beer, and there was at least another 12-pack in there.
Well, I brought over a lot of beer there.
Yeah, a lot.
I
Well, there was
brought-
a lot of beer. I didn't know who brought it, but
Yeah,
there was a lot of beer there.
Yeah, it
So-
was.
So we were sitting around smoking the joints and getting high and drinking the beer, and you were already drunk as hell. So
That was a hell of a game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't Walter Payton have a great game?
130 yards, yeah. They won 23-0, and that made you even more happier and more enticed to drink.
Remember, we went over to that bar after the Bear game. You know how much we drank?
About 5-6 pitchers of beer, I think.
Did anything happen while we were drinking it?
Well, the funny thing was when you spilled the one pitcher on the pool table and took your shirt off and wiped it up with your shirt. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that real well. So we left the bar, and then remember we were following Jimmy and Paul, and that cop got us.
Yeah.
Now, what do you remember about that, Pete?
The cop pulled us over. I didn't really know why he did.
No, neither did I, Pete. See, I wasn't driving that bad.
No, you were driving okay. But he pulled us over, and he came up to the window, your window, and said, you know, let me see your license and all that. You got out. And then he made you walk the line and touch your nose and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought you did it pretty well.
Uh-huh.
I thought you didn't look like you were very drunk, even though I knew you were. But you looked like you did okay.
Remember, like, before the Bear game, like, I was kind of drunk then.
Very. Yelling obscenities out Jimmy's window and saying,
Well,
give
see,
the
you
ball
know
to
what it
Walter.
is Michael, he says stuff, you know, and it gets me, it kind of like antagonizes me.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
He says, don't do this. And when I'm drunk, John, and I hear somebody say, don't do something, immediately I'm going to do it. Walter! Oh, man. Walter! Walter! Oh, Walter! Walter. John, when Walter Payton gets the ball, somebody else besides him is going to get hurt. And I'm lucky I don't play pro football against Walter Payton, because I wouldn't be around. God bless. God bless Walter Payton forever. Walter Payton is more than poetry. He's more than prose. He's more than epic poem. You know, Walter Payton is epitome, the essence of things as they are in the basic structure of football. He runs, he blocks, he tackles, he does everything on the football field, and he's courteous, and in my mind is, you know, when I think of Walter Payton, you know, I get so keyed up. There's an old expression called, you live life vicarious, you like in another person. I can't remember exactly that term, but, and with Walter Payton, he keys everything that is ever exemplified in life. Now, you know I drank some stuff in here. I've never been really drunk in here.
Not really drunk,
not-
no, but you've been pretty buzzed or whatever.
Uh-huh. Last week, I got in trouble with the law. I got arrested and spent some time in jail.
For what?
For drunken driving. It's going to cost me $650 for the lawyer. $650, man. And you,
money.
yeah, I know.
Where were you drinking at? In here?
In here, I got drunk in here,
Yeah.
but that was early in the afternoon.
So what did you do, go out and keep drinking all night, or what?
I watched a beer game.
That'll do it to you all the time, won't it?
Yeah. When I used to be a hot roofer, the yard I worked out of was right down the street over there. And one hot day, it was about 95 degrees out, I came in here, and I didn't really know what was going on. But the only thing I did know what was going on was there was a beer sign out in front. So I stopped on in, and it was probably the luckiest day of my life. Because I've never had a bad time in here. You know, I had some good times in here. And the night of the big drunk, this is where I came in first. So I had about 4 bottles of beer and 2 shots of mezcal, and kind of got off to a flying start. It's like a whole new ball game after you relieve yourself and nature helps herself out. And, you know, it's a bodily function that is part of nature's doing. How about that? Give the ball to Walter Payton. Let's go. Well, let's go. Let's go, cops. Let's go. I only paid about 4 years of my life patching up people in the American service. And doing the best I know how to get them back on the right track. I've never been in trouble before. Here's a copper right here. Hello, copper. All right. I've never been in trouble, and I never will be in trouble for anything serious in driving my car. And if I can't drive my car, I won't drive it. The cop stopped us right here. Guy that's told us to pull it over. Being a cooperative guy, I pull it over. Stopped the car and he says, let's go walk some lines and see how your dexterity is. And so I said, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. When the cop said to me, Sean, he said, walk the line. Johnny Cash sang a big song, I Walked the Line. I didn't do it that bad, but I didn't do it that good. I could have done a lot better. But I didn't do it all that bad, I did all right. Now, if I had been thinking, which is one of the main drawbacks with drinking, is you don't think. You just do. There's no thinking involved. Now, if I had been thinking, what I would have done when I walked the line is catch it, John, catch it. You get the ball, you move, you get it again, you move, you keep moving. You don't stay in one spot. It's like William Blake said, he said, expect poison from standing water. It's one of the proverbs from hell in William Blake's poems called Marriage from Heaven and Hell. He said, expect poison from standing water. Hell's bells. As long as the grass grows and the river flows, I like beer. I always have and I always will be. God bless Walter Payton. God bless the animals. God bless everybody.